And the commish. Texas, how you doing tonight, brother?
You know, keep on keeping on, man. As the struggle goes,
I
I'm
also
here, and I'm ready. Go
all
ahead.
right. I also have with us tonight a special guest. Finally, I get an owner on. I've been trying to get an owner for the last few weeks, so I've been begging and begging. I finally got one. The Minnesota Timberwolves owner, King Mizark. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good, dude. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on board. Like you said, now you got a little bit of free time, so I'm able for you to take a little bit of that free time and
Yeah.
come on to EBA tonight.
Yep. A lot of free time now.
Yeah, that's not always a good thing for the EBA, but hey, I've been having free time for the last couple weeks, so I've got all kinds now. We'll jump right into things here. Let's jump right into talk about the playoffs. It's going to be a rather short show tonight, but it's going to be a good one. So let's jump right in. The playoffs. How are they spinning? I mean, of course, both of the guys I have here from both sides, which it really gives me a chance to discuss the teams they faced and their strengths and their weaknesses. So I'm so glad to have the commissioner that made it that far, and also King Mizark that made it on the other side. But I'm going to jump right in and just go over results from last week. Last week we had Portland Trailblazers versus the Golden State Warriors on the West. On the East we had Minnesota Timberwolves face the Cleveland Cavaliers. You can see the scores there separately. The Golden State Warriors swept Portland. Let's talk about the West first. I have you here. I have to go to you first on this. James, what happened, brother? 4-0 swept from the Golden State Warriors. I mean, you got to kind of let us know what's going on.
What do you want me to say, man? I mean, they beat us fair and square. I mean, we had a few people, have some issues they couldn't show. We had to move some players around, but I mean, it's all part of the game, and sometimes you gotta chalk it up to gotta give it to 2K, man. 2K gets what 2K wants, and 2K wanted to put the best team ever to touch the floor on the game, so they did that, and you can't expect nothing else, man. 2K is gonna get what they want, best team ever, and it's gonna show at the end of the season.
Let's sweat. I mean, I had
That's
you
what happened to
guys
us.
going like 6 games and taking your team, and I've still had Golden State winning because they're Golden State, but I had winning a couple games.
Absolutely.
I mean, were there issues throughout with the lineups, or I mean, what were your, I guess I hate to say excuses, but what was your view from your side on why you're not where you're at?
Not excuses, man. We got 5 people in, and we have 5 people in the game, and 5 people got beat, so it's not gonna be an excuse. But as of the lineups go, we have Mike, man, and everybody knows he's up for MVP race, and he's up for the All-Star and the Point Guard of the Year and all this. And he had to. He was supposed to play the first 2 games, but he had a very a bad. He had to go to the hospital. He had to go to the ER, so he had some stuff to take care of personally, and you always got to put that first. Make sure your health's right. So if your health ain't right, then you ain't gonna be able to play 2K at all. You're gonna be done. So I mean, he had to do that, and so we had to move some things around, and we had to put somebody that's never played Lillard before to step up as our one, because the only person that probably could have played Lillard wasn't eligible to play Lillard. So it was a frustrating situation, and on top of that, we had to play Portland. So we had to move some things around, but at the end of the day, we had 5 people on the floor, 5 people got beat, and Golden State's probably gonna take it all, man. Like I said, 2K is gonna get what they want, and that's what's about to happen.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more, but I want to jump over to King Mizark. I mean, looking over at the West, Golden State Warriors, Portland Trailblazers, who'd you have winning first, I want to ask, and then also I want to ask, do you think Golden State is just too much of a team to struggle against? I mean, too much of a powerhouse to go against in this game?
Honestly, I didn't know who was gonna win. I had it going to 6 or 7 games because I mean, Golden State is overpowered, but I also do like the Blazers team a lot. I don't think the Golden State is too powerful because if you have a right system, you can beat them. Like, I don't know what I would have done if I would have got there with the Timberwolves. It would have been a crazy matchup because there's really no one you could sag off of. And then they got McGee, a monster too. So I don't know what I would have done, what my team's game plan would have been. But I mean, if Mike Man, I did not know Mike Man had to go to the hospital or the ER. But you'd have to have someone that is not afraid to go out there and put up shots on Lillard, and I don't think they had that.
Yeah, I mean, Lillard's your star player. If you lose somebody who knows how to play him, has been playing all season, that's going to hurt. Like I said, excuses aside, bottom line is they got swept. So it isn't like, he was in the hospital. I don't know if he's in the hospital for all 4 games or had to play with different lines, but that all, of course, affects with what's going on. And when we get onto the East, you can explain from your side how certain things came into play to where you're at. So, like I said, excuses, not excuses. I understand the situation, but you have to have a star player that's not afraid to jack at
100%.
Lillard. You have to. I mean, he's the star on the team.
And I really wish something like that wouldn't happen, man, because I really feel like it'd have been a good series, man. Obviously, if we'd have had all 4, all whole line playing, then, Portland be in the finals right now. We can all see that. But,
I had you losing
happens,
with Mike
man.
Man healthy or not, but I did have you winning at least 2 games, so I was off there. I mean, to see Golden State sweep, that was pretty surprising considering Houston Rockets put up a game against them. So I was pretty surprised to see the number 1 team who've been wiping people clean all season long with Portland not at least put up 2 solid games that I thought, okay, like I said, at least Mike Man, I figured, like I said, I know he had issues, but I figured with his line at least, they'd put up such a battle that it would be difficult for Golden State to play.
Yeah, but his line wasn't his line because we had to move people. Like, somebody from their line had to come and play Lillard for us because we couldn't get nobody else on. So it wasn't, there's too many pieces moved for us to do that, man. And I mean, you can say what you want, but people can say it's an excuse, but anybody here knows. Anybody that plays this league with a solid 5, especially probably Miz over here, knows that when you have a good 5 going, I mean, because they had a line that lost 1 game on the season. If you start taking pieces out of that, the line ain't the same, regardless how minute the piece is you've taken out. And so, when you got to move people around, shit happens, man. And then you play the best team that's ever touched 2K, then it's gonna be a struggle. So
Yeah, I mean,
we didn't have enough for it that night.
Some comments were made, and I have to call you out only because, co-host or not, you're my boy, but I got to call you out.
100%,
Comments
man.
were made.
That's why I showed up tonight.
Sucking on Crow's teat. Well, whatever milk he's been sucking on, he put up about 30 points, I believe, against you guys. I mean, do you still stand by Bebe's garbage? And I mean, he does have Curry. I give him that. However,
100%, bro. Look, you ain't even got to go. However, let's talk about that. All right, the kid does nothing but cross half court and shoot up a shot with Steph Curry. I'm a center, bro. I could do what he does. Crow, if you want to lose the drama and lose a little kid that ain't even out of diapers, bro, and you get Golden State again next season, bro, I'll play point guard for you. I could do the same shit without the drama. All right, and I can wake up and play without having to get my binky in the morning. All right, so if you need me to play, I'm here, man. I'll play Steph Curry. I can cross. I can take a screen and shoot from beyond the arc. Ain't no thing. I could drop 30. Hey, kid ain't even out of diapers, man. I'm just saying. He's a drama. I mean, he's just on the crow tip, man. That's all he is, right? He ain't nothing. That's why nobody wants to put up with the kid. Because he can only play for one person, because without daddy, he can't get dressed in the morning.
Well, I'm going to go to the other side, only because of pure respect for King Mizark. You had Bebe on your team in Minnesota. Actually, I think his name is Irving now, but it's Bebe Kids from a long time ago, whatever. But you had him on your team, and there was this issue at training camp, whatever, IR or something like that. I mean, do you feel that he's talented, or it's just Curry doing the work?
I mean, I like Irving. I don't mind the kid. I mean, I've played with him before without. I had him on my EBA team last year when we did the All-Star team up, and then I added him to a couple money league teams that I'm in, and I mean, he accepts his role on my team, so I got nothing against him. I mean, I had him on the Timberwolves, but I mean, he called me Karo in the party 3 times, and that was a final straw where, like, okay, dude, you're on this man's dick, so you can go to that team if you want. And I thought I was gonna beat him and meet him in the finals, but I guess not.
Okay, so he plays his role. Okay, so he doesn't need Crow to be daddy. He just needs a daddy in general. Got you. All right. it's clear now.
Well, you keep
It's
calling the
clear.
kid out. He
You know
did
what I mean?
put up 30 points. Like I said, he has Curry, but still, he did put up
Yeah.
30 points, and I believe another game he put up like 25 or
still-
23. I mean,
But still, he has Curry. But still,
I know.
get the
I mean,
fuck out of here.
just
He has
saying,
compared to
Curry,
from what I've seen, compared to their other Curry, that is their 100% best shot at having a legit Steph Curry. So I mean, I don't know who else would play it on that team, but the other Steph Curry I seen was playing like he had Chris Dunn.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I'll ask
I
you
guess
this,
when
and
you got all
we'll
those
get off
weapons
of
on
the.
your team, you can do that.
We'll get off the West. I just want to ask you this one last question, King Mizark. If you would have got the number 1 pick in Golden State Warriors, would you be claiming victory right now? Like it'd be walking into with the trophy.
Undefeated throughout the season and the playoffs. If we had the same roster with the Warriors, we'd be undefeated, swept through the playoffs. I have no doubt about that. If we did, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we ran into very tough, underrated team in the Cavs. So I mean, I will give them their props when we talk about our series. But if I would have had the Warriors, no question in my mind that we would have went undefeated through the season and the playoffs.
With both lines.
Both lines,
Because I mean,
hands down.
you went undefeated on the other. Let's flip over to the East since we're chatting back and forth here, King. So on the opposite side, Minnesota versus Cleveland, I had you guys winning, and throughout the season, if you watch the power rankings or if you keep up with the show, I had you number 1 every single week. Just the teams that you were beating were hands down weren't competing with you. You had one line go undefeated all the way into the last week. Your other line was still extremely competitive. I know because we went up against them in Toronto a couple times, and I didn't think Minnesota would be as good of a team, whether it's your personal players or whether it's the players that are there, as they were throughout the season. Nobody had the 10th pick going this far. So first off, hats off, respect. You earn my respect as a player. Like I said, I don't know if you've been watching previous shows, but I look at you at a whole different light. I don't know you from very well. I know we have in and outs, talk every once in a while, whatever. But being the owner of Minnesota Timberwolves, first let's talk about your run so far. I mean, look at where you're at and where you came from. Are you happy where you're at, or it's still not good enough?
I mean, I'm not happy. I mean, after wasting, I think it was a 5-week season. We played over about 40 games. We wanted to win. I mean, we had no other goal. Our goal wasn't getting to the playoffs, or our goal wasn't competing. Our goal was whichever team we had, we would go in and pay for some solid players to be on our roster and try to win. I mean, I thought I did that, but at the end of the day, we lost. So I mean, no, I'm not happy about where we finished.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand, especially with the start or with the season that you guys had, that it was championship or bust mentality. It had to be from that team, especially with G Money, the way he was playing on Cat, and some of the other guys surrounding him, the role players you had on the team that really surprised me. And I know most of your team, I've been hearing this over and over, plays in a money league somewhere. I don't know exactly which site or whatever, but I know they play in a money league somewhere. But is that what you went in? Like, I'm going to go in and get my boys? Is that what you were thinking of going into the season?
Not at all. But I mean, on my team, there's only about G Money is my brother, my roommate. So me and him have been playing with each other forever. But besides him, there's only about 2 players that I consistently played with, and that was Too Cool and Rara. I got them both for 500K. I've been playing with them for a long time, and they met my expectations, but they were unknown kind of to the EBA community, even though they've played in here in and out for a couple seasons. But everyone else was really just people that I've knew and I've networked over, Xbox, and decided to pick them up and mesh them on a line. But I mean, realistically, those 2 guys were the only 2 main ones that I played with. The other ones were just I've played with here and there. But yeah, I mean, if I had to pick up some other guys, I would have. But honestly, some owners, like the Spurs, filled up his roster before I even had one player on my team. So
yeah,
I mean,
but you see where the Spurs were
really low.
I mean,
yeah.
So I mean that they were kind of the joke of the season, and the fact that there was no. We could talk about them for another hour, but. So I want to ask you this going in here, looking at what I'm looking at here, which is a graphic of Minnesota Timberwolves 2 games, Cleveland Cavaliers 4. I always said if you have one solid line, they're going to take the whole thing, always. So what happened, man? I mean, I had you guys winning it all. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so we let George's line, G Money's line, started off. They lost game one against Abyss and Eastern and Woody's line, which that line was the real X factor, I believe, because they had a real scheme to really just clog the paint and let us shoot. And I mean, after the patch, Levine was not the Levine that we started off with. I mean, before he was green and everything, and now he was completely broke. But so they started off the series, they split 1-1. Day two, it was my line, and I didn't have my point guard and my power forward. So unfortunately, I had to move to point guard, which I mean, I usually play point guard, but I have not played at this 2K to be completely honest. So I had to move to point guard. I got two TCs, plugged one in on Levine, plugged one in on power forward. And we won one game, and we came really close to winning game four, but we ended up slipping our lead in the fourth and choking. So we went into the last day tied 2-2, and my line decided to start it off. And I think you guys, some people were watching the Twitch, but we were up, I think, 8 or 9 in the fourth quarter. At the end of the day, it came down to the closing seconds that then we were up 3 points. We decided to foul LeBron. So LeBron got and that was a TC LeBron because Realists was getting booted offline or whatnot. So we decided to foul LeBron up 3. He sinks both free throws. So all we have to do is inbound the ball, get fouled, knock down our free throws, and win the game. And it was a panic inbound, and we inbounded. They stole it, and Uncle Drew hit the game-winning shot. So that was it for game 5. Game 6, they just couldn't Abyss's line and was just countered George's line, and they just beat them by stacking the paint. We just couldn't hit jump shots at the end of the day.
That's a rough way to go down. I want to switch over real quick over to Texas. Now, Cleveland and Minnesota, we both had Minnesota going all the way. To see Cleveland Cavaliers come up 4-2 them, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, James? I mean, what are you looking here going, oh crap? Or do you think that was a solid matchup no matter what?
Nah, I mean, I think if Minnesota would have been able to get their full on, I think everybody pretty much expected them to win. So it was. I mean, it's definitely a blessing for Cleveland that didn't happen. I mean, I already know what he's going through. We did the same. We had to mix and match and shit like that. So. He has my sympathy for that. It's a shitty situation, man. Because it sucks. As like, as getting in that game, and playing against the Timberwolves. Obviously, you're thinking, hey, this is good. They got TCs. We don't have to play the best team in the EBA right now. So that, obviously that's what the fucking Cavs are thinking. Is if any of them want to say otherwise, I'll call them a liar to their face. So I mean, it's a good thing for them, but as a person that's just watching the game, it's shitty because you want to see the best players compete in the game. You want to see a good game with their best talent on the floor. So I mean, it sucks, man. It really sucks for the Timberwolves because there's no reason why they shouldn't have beat them. They've been beating them all season. They've been beating everybody all season. So.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see it. I mean, I know somebody from Cleveland jumped into my party and said, I told you. No, you didn't. You didn't tell me shit. You didn't open your mouth. You didn't run your mouth before. You just said, I'm going to show up and play my game. Now win with respect the same way that you went into the game with respect because you knew, like anybody else, it was going to be a hard battle, which it was. I mean, 4-2, the one game there at the end could have made it an easy game 7. It could have went either way. So to understand it a little more, I didn't get a chance to watch a game from that side. I was watching Golden State just pound Portland a couple times, but I didn't get a chance to watch Minnesota or Cleveland that game. So moving on here, kind of looking forward to the teams that are out. Definite respect. However, moving on to the playoffs, the finals, EBA again matches the real life, I guess. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors. James versus Curry. now it's Durant and James, but I stole a graphic from last year's finals. Let's talk a little bit about that. I still think, and even though I do this like the last time I did this, I voted against the team and the team ended up coming back and winning. I want the Cavs to win just so we can stop saying Golden State because it's Golden State. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
But I honestly
out of 7
feel
games,
Golden State
there's no
will
way.
win. I still honestly feel that Golden State's going to win the game. I think they're going to win it in probably 6 or 7. I would say 6. I just think Golden State, you make 1 or 2 mistakes, it's just hard to stay with them. However, Cleveland's surprised me beating Minnesota, so this has got to be a decent matchup. You've got two number 2 seeds in this final match. Give me real quick, James, give me your kind of breakdown on this match and what you feel and how this is going to end up. You got Golden State versus the Cavs.
Well, obviously, I'm gonna say Golden State in 4. Dude. That it's no matter how many games it takes, dude. There's not a team that can compete with Golden State in 7 games, dude. In 7 straight games, there's no way. Out of 7, tell me there's another team on 2K that can beat them the majority of the time. I don't see it at all. I don't care how bad of a game they have. We played in game 1. We played in the first game in our series. We played them with a 2 guard that's never played Damian Lillard in his life. Never played Damian Lillard. He stepped in and played. We lost to them. We lost to them by 4 or 5 points. And we played almost perfect. Like the only thing, our Damian didn't hit enough shots. And they played horrible and still won. They played shitty and still beat us, bro. And that right there tells you everything you need to know, man. There's no way that any team can compete with Golden State, and I don't care what nobody says. They're gonna win this off the back of their team that they had, their 2K team they have.
Well,
plain and simple.
Yeah, you got Golden State. I got Golden State. We're already building up against Cleveland. King Mizark, you played the Cavs. You understand what they're capable of, better than anybody. And then you've got Golden State on the opposite side, which I know you haven't really head-to-head with that team that they have in place now so much. You've played them a couple games throughout the season, but nothing a 4-game focus on. Do you think the Cavaliers can persevere and take over the Warriors? What are your thoughts?
I think so. I got the Cavs winning.
Wow.
I got the Cavs winning in 6 or 7. I don't think the Cavs are not nearly on the same level as the Warriors, but I don't see. Abyss, if you're watching, the same game plan you did on Towns, this time just sag off Draymond. That's how you're gonna beat them. I don't know who their Draymond is, but every time I faced him, he's been a spot-up shooter. And now that they lowered his 3-point shot, he's not gonna be going off and killing you. So there you go. I want an honorary trophy if you guys win for that game plan.
Well, that's helping your East
But,
out, right? Like you're promoting the East side because they took you guys out. You want the team that beat you to beat the other team because then you could say, hey,
I know players on both sides. I don't. Like I said, I don't. The Warriors are overpowered. Everyone knows that. They got even McGee is a glitch, and the whole team is just 90 overalls. But I don't think that they will beat the Cavs. I haven't seen anything out of that second line. I don't believe in that Curry. I don't believe in that Durant. I tried to actually cut that Durant off of my team, and he became an all-star. But I don't think that Sourcey is going to carry him, and I don't think that whoever
Sourcey's
they're
not there, man. Sourcey's
okay,
not
then
there no more.
there's no one on that second line that I believe in. So if they end up winning, then I guess Abebe and Kuro and whoever's on that line is going to have to carry them to the ship. But I do see it going a 6 or 7, and I do see the Cavs winning just based off of. They showed a lot of IQ, and they had a great game plan when they played us. So at the end of the day, I think that Drew, Realist, Hayden, those guys are gonna come out with it and beat the Warriors, do the unthinkable.
Well, I mean, looking at the teams, the Cleveland Cavaliers roster, I think, is a better roster than what's on Golden State. So, I mean, I would have, just by looking like you said, I think that if you just match them up with...
Talking about user-wise.
User-wise, yeah. It's a better user-wise roster is what I mean. EBA roster. Remix, Hayden Land's not a bad player, he's a good player. You got Abyss. You got some good guys. The real Uncle Drew, realist. I can't forget him. Woody.
And I agree. I agree 100%. I think the Cavs definitely have better users, and I think they're way better. I think the Cavs users are way better than Golden State's users, and that's why I'm saying that they're gonna win this. The Golden State is gonna win this purely off the back of Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, JaVale McGee. Those guys. We should be sending 2K trophies, not Carroll, Bebe, all the rest of their team. And 2K is gonna give them a trophy in the EBA.
Well,
it's.
I mean, their roster's not crap. I mean, Bama Mike's not a bad guy. Budweiser.
No, they're not bad.
Montana's not horrible.
They're not
Young
bad,
but
Cleveland
not bad.
is better.
Unibrow. I mean, these guys aren't like horrible players. They're decent. They're good players. 2K does make them better. I mean, you're looking at a roster that has 4.5 million, and they have a shot at winning. They have 10 players on their roster right now. That's it. So everybody has to show up. No TCs. And it shows they have no TC. So every person has to show up, or they could really be mixing lineups and really cause issues. So if they're driven to actually win this, I mean, Golden State, I think, has the team to do it. However, I agree, just because of the depth and where Cleveland's at, I think is Cleveland's better roster. I mean, their roster is 16 million versus a 4 million on EBA standards. So really, what this is going to compare going forward is the player more important than the team. Now, King Mizark on the opposite side, your team was picked 10th overall. They got past 9 picks. And the players that actually play were better than the team. You know what I'm saying? Like the talent you had was better than that team, because I would have never picked number 1 for you guys to win as many games as you did. Number 2 to be going in as a first seed. And after, I mean, of course, by the end of the season, you guys had me a believer by week 2 or 3. So for you, going with Cleveland makes sense. These guys are, you're looking at them going on, the talent on the team really makes the team better, not the players from the 2K. You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep saying it, but I'm saying it different every time. But the actual EBA players, I should say, make the team, not the team itself.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. The point I think you're trying to make is, like, the users outweigh the team rating. I mean, everyone knows the Warriors are the greatest of all time. But, I mean, I don't think that... how can I explain this? I mean, to me, last 2K16, users were more important than the team. I would say that you were reliant 70% on your users and 30% on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this 2K, I do think that it's heavily reliant on the pick you get or the team you use. So, I mean, and it's flipped. I feel like it's either like about 60% on the team and then 40% on the users. Now, the Cavs are still a great team. And I mean, I do think that they have better game managers than the Warriors. I mean, I do see it, like I said, going to 6 or 7 games, but I just think that the Cavs can follow that game plan and compete just based off leaving Draymond open.
I mean, you're looking at it. That's the first and second pick of the year, right? I mean, this season wasn't Golden State first, Cleveland was 2. Isn't that
that's how it was.
So I mean, even with the issues that they had, Golden State damn near falling apart. New owner, Abyss took over Cleveland early, but Abyss still took it over. Having to quickly find out who he wants on his team and having to work trades throughout the season. It's still, they both went through their own drama in order to be where they're at. But this is literally the number 1 and number 2 pick. So the pick I feel is very powerful this year. That's why I'm going with Golden State. I think that the team is, I would say 70%, like you said, 70% the team itself, the 2K team, and then maybe 30% the players. In your case might be a little different. But with that talking in that mentality and moving forward, do you feel Golden State should be banned next year? No matter if they win or lose or whatever, do you feel Golden State should not be a pick for next year?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I'm all for the sim league status that EBA has, and I feel like we should still have the Warriors in there. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a guaranteed ship or championship appearance if you get them, but I mean, it does heavily upgrade your odds in regards to that. But I don't think that they should be banned. I mean, I feel like the Clippers could beat them in the West. I feel like the Blazers could beat them in the West. But I mean, I do see people's points of them being heavily overpowered. But I mean, the Cavs, my opinion, could compete also. But I mean, for the 10th pick and the 9th pick, is that's when it gets tricky because I don't know next season who's gonna. I hope I don't get them, but if someone else gets a 9th or 10th pick, I don't know who will be going there. But it is really gonna be hard to compete with those the 8th, 9th, and 10th picks, in my opinion, against the Warriors. But I don't think they should be banned. Just be based off of keeping the league as simulation as possible.
So you don't think with that roster that he has, that Crow has, or Crow himself, or anybody, hell, if I was on that team, there wouldn't be an asterisk by my EBA trophy saying, oh yeah, but you also got to play with Golden State, which is the best team ever in the history of teams, so that trophy doesn't mean anything, or that win or that competition doesn't mean anything.
I mean, no, I'm not that much of a hater to sit there and say that, they're only in there because of the team. But I mean, people are going to say that. I mean, do I personally think if I matched up against them, we would win with, our at full strength? Yeah, I do think that we would beat them with the Timberwolves, even if they did have the Warriors. But I mean, we're not there, and it's up to the Cavs to, prove that the Warriors can be beaten.
Yeah, well, if the team that to do it, I think should be, would be the Cavs, of course. I had you guys winning it all. I even had you beating going all the way to the finals. I thought Golden State would probably pull it off in the finals. I mean, that's the way my bracket looked out. It was going to Game 7, but that's how much faith I had in your team. So, moving on, Texas James Smith. Anything else you want to say about the finals? Any last remarks? The finals.
I want to wish both of these teams best of luck, man. Regardless of what we say here, guys. I mean, y'all have definitely earned your spot. You know what I mean? I mean, no matter the hate that I've thrown, or regardless the shade or whatever you want to call it, this is strictly on analysis purposes. We do it for the people, but you guys definitely deserve to be there. You won your games. You did what you've done what it takes, man. So, I mean, good luck to both of you guys, man. I hope y'all have a good series.
I mean, you got to be rooting for, even though you're pissed because they beat you. You got to be rooting for Golden State. That way, so you guys can say the team that beat us is the team that won it all. And me, I'm rooting for.
I won't
Golden...
be rooting. I won't be rooting for nobody. I'm just gonna make my pick because I'm sure Golden State's gonna win this, man. I mean that's that team. We tried the same game plan as Miz was talking about. Make Draymond beat you, but I mean when the corners are so OP in this game, when Draymond just posts up in the fucking corner, it's so hard to make him miss that shot. So it's very difficult.
Yeah,
and they did a good job, man. It's fast breaks and Draymond is what got us, and I'm sure that's gonna do them good for this next game too, man. I mean, it's tough, man, because I mean, no matter what happens, you playing Golden State, but you got Cleveland, which is a top 2 or 3 team. Some people want to put them in different spots, so I wish them both the best of luck, man.
Well, I can tell you from experience that
if
Crow finally wins his trophy, we won't hear the end of it in the forums about the greatest of all time. I can tell you that. However, with that being said, I'm not hating on the team. I pick you guys to win. A lot of it is, you have to go out and do it, but I still think, and I always vote against. I always vote against the realist, and he proves me wrong. So we'll see. Well, I guess we'll find out next week when we get that again.
I mean, Crow can say what he wants, but to say greatest of all time when there's only been 5 seasons and you're nowhere on the leaderboards of top of anything, that's a stretch. And so I highly doubt he'll go there. If he does go there, he's pretty wild out there. But
well, he's gonna tell you to shut up because you got swept. Swept is what he's gonna tell you. So I'm just saying
that's fine. He can say that, but when he gets the trophy and he's sitting there with an asterisk by it, then he ain't got shit to say either. So
that's rough.
It's all good.
So I want to talk, since I have King Mizark on my show. Finally, we got an owner, and a good owner at that. A lot of respect is earned this year, so I want to start off with positive talking, King. I want to have just a kind of one-on-one with you here. Minnesota Timberwolves. Was there any other teams at that spot? Let's rewind the season, kind of think back 5, 6, 7 weeks ago. Was there any other team at the 10 spot when you got the 10? I know you had to oh shit. Like I know that had to be a thought that went through your head. Not having a top 5 pick or even a top 6, 7 pick, like you said, when you get around 9 or 10, it gets a little tricky. Was there any other team that you thought about going with other than the Timberwolves at pick 10?
Yeah, plenty. But I mean, I had discussions with some of the people that I knew that I was gonna try to pick up, and they didn't want them. But Timberwolves are not number one on my list. I mean, if I wanted to take the Bulls,
Yes.
I was
Yes.
hoping, I really want to take the Bulls, but at that point they really had no shooters because Wade and Jimmy, they didn't have the update.
Yep.
I also considered who was it? I also considered the Jazz, but at that point they did not have Gordon Hayward, and no one knew how long he was going to be out. Um, and lastly, I think it was New Orleans, but they didn't have a bunch of their players. But we did want Anthony Davis. We did want a dominant big because I know what George G Money can do on dominant bigs, and I also had Too Cool, who I was expecting to give up a lot of my cap to, but I got him for 500K, so I wanted to give him a dominant big and let them carry. I mean, I was willing to take any role on any team that we got. So, I mean, do I think the Timberwolves will go higher than 10 next EBA season? I think so, but I do think the team that gets them is in for a rude awakening when just get left wide open and they don't hit shots.
Yeah, call them Toronto Raptors because I've been left open at small forward. I don't know how many times and just can't bury it. So, with that, looking at your roster, I'm just kind of going over here. Mr. Leone, Almighty Zeus, Ace Boogie, Easy Money Sniper, King Mizark, G Money. Of course, he's you, but White Ice Fresh, 2X Cool, Rod da Boom, Inglewood, Madam, Majestic, Dimes, It's Rush, Blitz, and Saboteur. Um, Looking at this roster, this is what you have on here. 17 mil is exist. So you kind of maxed out there with what you have. Taking G Money in the beginning at 6 mil. I know you think he's worth it, but I mean, did you second guess that decision? Because you got a lot of beef, or you got a lot of heat in the beginning about, oh god, he can't put together a real good team if you take a GM because of the way the rules were set up this season. Do you feel like it was no question, made for you that was your guy? G Money's your guy. Like I said, he lives with you. You know, you've played with him, so you just knew I'm going after him, and I'm gonna make him my GM.
I mean, to me, it wasn't a reach at all. I mean, 6 mil to me was fine. I knew I could build a team with the remaining 11 mil I had, but in terms of did I regret it? Yeah, I did regret it because I knew that if I would have, he had won Power Forward of the Year in the All-Star Team Up League, but I don't think anyone remembered that. So if I would have let him go into bidding and how bidding went, I really think I could have gone for 2 to 3 mil, and because at when I GM'd him, there was still signups going on, so a lot of quote unquote big names signed up after that.
Yes.
So I mean, I really think I could have made my team better by just letting him go into bidding and signing him for under the 6 mil. But I don't regret it because I would have paid over 6 mil for him if that makes sense.
No, that definitely makes sense. I understand your thoughts going into bidding was I'll just put this tag on him because he's worth it. But yeah, I agree that the bidding was rather suspect this season. Some people, there's a
Bidding
handful of
was
people
very weird.
there's a handful of people that went over 6 mil, and I'm not saying they're not worth it, but other than that, majority of them went 500K to a mil. I mean, majority players were not that far out. Or like I said, there's a handful that went over 6. So paying that much up front, I can definitely see why you looked back and thought, oh, okay. Now looking at the roster, other than you already mentioned Rada Boom, which I will put on here that I we played against him and he had great games against us at Toronto, so he really opened my eyes to, oh my god, this guy can play. And Too Cool even had a really good season there. Anybody else on your roster that you just said, hey man, this guy stand out this season? He surprised me. I picked him up, didn't really know what I was getting, and bam, he balled out.
Yeah, actually a lot of them. I mean, I knew what Rara and Too Cool were gonna bring to the table. I knew what George was gonna bring to the table. I mean, I also had a hunch with a bunch of my players, but I mean, also I was surprised at how good Dimes is as a point guard. We never really played together. We always kind of bumped heads before, and he really is a good 2K player, and he does everything right on the court. I was surprised in him. I was surprised in also it's Rush. I mean, he's a beast. I actually picked him up last day of bidding because I didn't know who to bid on, and he was a familiar name. So I'm kind of glad I spent the 2 mil or 2.5 mil on him. But
Too. Yeah.
yeah, he actually turned out to be a really solid player. And I mean, I knew what Majestic and everyone else was really capable of because I've played with them before, but not on an extensive level.
Ace Boogie, I don't know if it's the same Ace Boogie, but I remember playing with an Ace Boogie back in the old VFL days. I don't know if you remember that or not, Texas, but um, I don't really know.
Nobody was on my level. I didn't need to remember anybody.
Oh wow, it's getting deep here. He only played 3 games this season. I guess he didn't really ball out, but I mean, he's another one that I was surprised to see on your roster. Now, looking out, the big question is, do you plan on being owner next season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be on this show if I wasn't planning on being an owner next season.
Yeah, well, no, I'm glad, like I said, you came on the show. I'm also glad that you're going to be owner next season because I believe that you're up for the Owner of the Year award, which in my hands you've won it, or in my eyes you've won it hands down, just to the respect that you're trying to bring.
Absolutely.
With the fact that I mean, I haven't voted one way or the other, but with the fact that the call out, I know that the I got a good laugh. The whole call out video that you called out for other owners doing that. They've been doing that for seasons. Nobody's really stepped up and said, "Hey, this isn't right and this is wrong and it should be fixed." So you earn my respect level there. Taking a 10th pick and putting together a team and pushing forward and making the right moves throughout the season, because there wasn't one week where I go, "That's a shitty trade. Why is he just dumping his roster?" Or, God, what is this guy doing over here? There's not one week throughout the season that I thought that. So you've earned my respect there. And again, I don't know where you can cash it, but it's my respect anyway. So looking at everybody in the league, is there people? Can you name anybody that you're like, I want on my team next year, or I want to go get this guy, or who you would like to play with? I guess like who you respect across the way and say, I like this guy. I respect him as a player.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot that I respect as players. I mean, I do think, my boy E Money, dude, underrated. Even though he was 8 million, I mean, he's one of the top bigs I've ever played against in 2K. I mean, he's a beast. And I always mess around with him about being my GM and whatnot, but no, he's a good player, and I mean, I'll never get him because his price tag is way too high. He's a social butterfly. But I do
I'm gonna
respect
call you
him, and
money
there's
a lot of things. Butterfly is not one of them.
Social jackass.
I mean, the guy's
No, I'm just
nonstop.
kidding. Yeah, go
The
ahead.
guy's
Right.
nonstop talking and being on GroupMe. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's involved with a lot of people. So I mean, his price tag goes up. But I do think he's a top player in the league.
Yeah, E Money had he was with Detroit this year, and he had probably the top big in the league. I don't know. I know you've played against him out there, but it was ridiculous some of the stuff he was pulling off. But he's still a solid player. I don't know if he's 7 million solid, like you said, but he's still a really solid player. One guy that I definitely respect. Now, on the flip side of things, is there anybody in the league that you would say, no matter if you gave this guy to me for free, I wouldn't want him on my team? I just don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with the whatever it is. We bump heads. We don't see eye to eye. Is there anybody like that you would say out there?
Oh, another one I would like to play with. I want to play with Woody, by the way. I'm gonna give that guy a shout out because he was playing great against us and great with Porzingis before that. So I do respect him also. Also, James Smith impressed me. I didn't know who this guy was. I remember
Thank
when they
you.
announced him as
Thank
commissioner,
you.
I actually commented and I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
I read that.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw
so
that.
I had no clue who the guy was. And I played against him, and he was actually balling as a big man. So I mean, James, we might have to link up next season, depending on how bidding goes. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm always around, man.
who I wouldn't
Open
want to play
availability.
with, Oh man, I mean, there's a lot that I just see and like, dude, what are
I
you
can name
doing? Like,
one.
we've been. Who would you name?
No, somebody you wouldn't want to play with, man. You already got rid of that dude once. Horsey. He's been a problem on a couple teams this season, man. I mean, I've talked to the dude a few times. He seems pretty chill, man, but A couple teams he's been on, man, like locker room problems, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Cause a lot of problems in the locker room that could be hurtful to a team. I wouldn't want that on my team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like
Saying.
Sorcia. That's known. He just acts really dumb to me. So I would
Yeah.
not take him. I would not take anyone on the Spurs. I don't want that. No, thank you. Um,
Throws the whole team out
The
there.
whole team.
Nobody on the Spurs.
the whole team. I do
Oh,
not want you. If
man.
you're in bidding and I need one, I will not pick you up. I'm letting you know that right now. Um, and then I'd have to say who I don't want to play with. Honestly, I don't want to play ever again for Trainer and the Pistons because I started off my EBA career with Trainer, and I consider their game style being AIDS or cancer in terms of 2K. They have no real method. So
I,
yeah, Pistons can take that energy and move along with it because you guys suck.
wow.
Take that energy.
Take that energy and move along with it, or take that L is what they did this season. I'm with you
Your boy
on the
E-Money
Trainer
was
thing, but
over there.
I've been very open with just because of some parties that I've been in and and I'm using air quotes tryouts that I felt were just a screw off session or whatever they call it. And I just like I don't want to be a part of this. I can't handle racism. It'd be nuts. And they're pretty obvious. And whether they're joking or not, it still gets under my skin, and I think they know it. So that I don't think I would want to play for him as well. I think I wouldn't. At being the CEO of the site, I never requested a trade. I think on that situation, I would request a trade. Like that's the only place I would go that I would request a trade.
Those guys they're not really. I don't think they're racist in my eyes. They're all cool guys. I'm just here to talk crap about them, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to play with some of the players on that team, but I would play with E-Money. Trainer, deep down inside, he's a big man. So if he wants to move to big man, he can come play with me.
Yeah, but you have to have white players on your team, or he won't play. So he'll take out the star and put in. Cat would not be playing if he played big man on your team. I'm just saying. Anyway. Texas, any questions for we got King Mizark here all to ourselves. Any questions you want to throw at him regarding the Minnesota, this season, maybe possibly next season? Anything you want to throw at him?
No, I mean I don't have any questions, man. You don't question greatness, bro. And you did a great job this season, bro. And I just want to congratulate you on having a good season with the Timberwolves, bro. Because I know that wasn't easy. So congratulations, man. I know y'all had a rough one against the Cavs, man, and that sucks. But y'all did have a great season, man.
On the topic of the Cavs, I give Abyss big respect because I mean, as James knows, like when I first got involved in EBA, I'm really against the troll movement of like the EBA owners. So I mean, we gotta like somehow be able to work together. And I mean, Abyss was real cool. We had problems the first day. He gave me extra time to get my TCs on. And then he had some problems, and we gave him time. It was all cool. So shout out to Abyss, shout out to Revolves, another cool owner. But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, if you want this league to grow and move forward, you guys gotta, cut out the pettiness.
Absolutely agree, billionfold. And part of the pettiness is when new players come along. And one of the things I like about this league, and I've said this many times, and one of the reasons why this league is even here, because if not, we'd all be playing over league gaming, is the simple fact is that you can meet somebody. For instance, Texas James, I didn't know him. I played VFL with him. I met him. He seemed like a nice guy. We played some ball together. Every once in a while when he's on running tryouts, I'd jump at his game. We became somewhat friends, I would say, again, Xbox Live friends, whatever. But you meet some pretty cool guys. You get to you get to play with some pretty cool dudes that like the same stuff that you like, basketball or whatever sport that you're playing. And I always say I'm a football guy trying to play basketball, but I do enjoy playing and meeting some of these guys. And even this season, I met a couple that I'm thinking, hey, these are pretty cool dudes. Like these aren't a bunch of assholes. These are adults that are trying to just enjoy a team play style game, simulation style game. So I agree, and I respect what you're building in that direction. You have to accept the new guys that come along. You got to be careful. A lot of people are like, oh, this guy's trash, or that guy's trash, or that guy. As an owner saying that really deters some of the new guys that are trying to just get on a team and trying to play. not doing things the right way by not running tryouts, just going after your boys, or trying to put, ignoring everybody else that could actually be solid on a team, I think is wrong. And a lot of owners are in that mentality, and that definitely needs to change. So I agree 100% with you, King Mizark. I appreciate you being on tonight. And hashtag reach out is what I have here. Just reach out to your friends, whatever. Signups are on. I think we have like 25, 30 signups already. If you're on a team, you can still sign up. You can go in and click the sign up button. We'll be removing teams at the end of the season. We have one more week left. I got to do payroll here shortly once we decide out who's winning what. Awards should be done shortly. Hopefully we'll have those done by the end of next week so we can announce those on the show. And anything you want to say in closing, King Mizark? Like I said, I appreciate you being on the show. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys running the league. I appreciate James. You did a great job this season, even though I didn't know who you were in the beginning.
All good, man.
Appreciate my team. We lost, but you guys went through 5 weeks of the Timberwolves, which I salute you for. MVG, aka G Money. Lastly, just everyone. I hope that we get some. I'm anxious for the season to start, so I hate the EBA timetables, but I know it has to be done. But I hope we can start sooner than later.
Yeah, and that really depends on signups, man. That's a lot. The more people we can get to sign up, the sooner we can see that, hey, we can be able to put teams together, the faster we can move from this end. It's not, I clicked 3 buttons to start up next season. It's not hard to do with the league system that we have in place. And next season, we will have a playoff system installed. It's already, we're being tested now. It's done. We're ready to throw it in the game. We're not going to throw it in right now, the last game of the playoffs, or the last game of this complete season. Last series, but it's ready. So next season you will have a playoff, system in place. So it's all about, everybody wants things to move quicker. Get the numbers. The numbers have to be there, and we can move as fast as the community is pushing us to move. It's just about getting. We can't start with 30 people. Let's talk about next season. Let's go. We need at least 100 plus, before we can start really pushing on the season and figuring out owners and figuring out all that stuff. But I don't know about James's schedule, but I know that the site itself, it's three clicks of a button and we're ready to go. It's all.
I'm 100% ready, man. Maybe wait till we got Christmas coming up, but as soon as we get the signups, I'm ready to go. Just whenever, let's get it, man.
Yeah, so definitely on there.
Get everybody signed up, man. Don't dance around the sign up and wait last second, because you could be the person we're waiting on to sign up. So get in there and sign up, man, so we can get it done.
Yeah, as soon as
get this stuff moving.
As soon as the season ends next week, it's from there. It's like I said, 3 buttons push for us to move forward. So it's not all about getting people involved and getting them to sign on and getting them to sign up, I guess. Anything you want to close with there, Texas James Smith? Anything you want to throw out? Any last words? No, it's been a great season, man. And I appreciate you owners that have showed up, man, because Mizark, you as well, man. I appreciate all you guys, man, because I know it's hard sometimes. It's frustrating, and I understand that it can be get you to that point where you just want to be like, fuck this, man. Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere in life, whatever. But y'all pushing forward and making it happen, man. It makes a lot of people happy and lets us enjoy this game even more. So I want to appreciate all you guys for doing that, and best of luck to the Cavs and the Warriors in the finals. It definitely. First, I want to start about good luck to those guys. I appreciate everybody, the owners that stuck it out this season. Screw you to the guys who quit on us. Like I said, hashtag reach out here. I'm looking just through the Xbox community. It's got 88,000 members, 43,000 members here. Go through these when you have some time and just join some of these leagues. The 2K League has 18,000 members. Join it. Shoot out a chat in there that says, says our link and everything. There's a lot of things we want to do moving forward. We want an Xbox Live app, which we have approval to do. We want a bunch of things as a site moving forward. Unfortunately, without the numbers or the traffic, we can't, produce at the level we want to produce at. So, invite people, get people on. We dropped, just to kind of give you an idea of the numbers here. I'm doing payroll now, so I say payroll, but it's, making sure everybody gets their TC. We had this season we had 21
EC.
blacklist. EC. What did I say? VC? EC. 21
TC.
blacklists. We had 21 blacklists. That's 12%. We had a total of 166 people this season, which is down from last season, but about 41 down from last season. So I think, as you guys can see, everything's back on the right path to move forward. So all we have to do is get things rolling. That's 12%, which is the lowest blacklist number other than season 3. So it's the second lowest blacklist number. So our blacklist was right in line at 12%, which is good. It's under 15 is what we're trying to keep it. So that's a good. I'd like to see it under 10, but under 15 is good. Total of 166 people. Let's make it 200 this season. So tell your friend, tell your buddy, tell your homie, whatever. Get on, get signed up. Definitely explain the league before you tell them. If you have any problems signing up, get a hold of me, Truth, Texas James Smith, or Mags, and we'll make sure we can help you out with that. I mean, we all want to see people jumping on and growing the league. So without further ado, I appreciate, like I said, both of my guests tonight. I appreciate everything you guys bring to the table, and I hope to see you all next season. I know you two will be here next season, right? I mean, you gonna give me a tryout, miss?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
You seen my stats.
Damn,
You ain't
put
getting
the man
tryout.
on the spot.
Let's go.
I
On
need
air,
the media on my
in
side.
front of everybody.
Well, listen, you might want to put Texas James Smith on your team if that's the case, because I don't know about you or not, but he did win the most expected to give his teammate a. No, you didn't get that. I put him on my team.
Yeah, I saw that episode.
I'd put him on my team just so I get the media hype. That's all I'd put on my team.
I'm a hype man, bro. I'm a hype man, bro.
I mean, he rides for his teammates, and we appreciate that. At least
100%.
on
Yeah.
how my team rolls.
I'm sure my teammates do appreciate my most block betting giving teammate a hand job award. I'm pretty sure they're 100% for that. That's fucked up.
I seriously can't believe it.
That's so fucked up. Damn.
I seriously cannot believe, though, after everything, you're not in the finals. Like, I figured all that hype, you'd definitely be in the finals.
Yeah, man. Stuff happens, man. Stuff comes up. People can't do stuff. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
I had King Mizark there hands down, like, without even second guessing at it.
I think everybody did.
It was unfortunate events. Yeah, it is what it is.
Just sucks as